In this video, we're going to scrape all the tickers of the S&P 500 index and we're going to save them into a data frame. So first, I'm going to import the necessary packages. We will need Beautiful Soup 4. So I will import Beautiful Soup 4 as BS. I will import Pickle, and Pickle is going to help us to organize the information that we just scraped. I'm going to import requests. We need this to make HTTP requests, and I'm going to import pandas as PD to create the data frame. And I'm going to create a new cell, and here I'm going to define a function, find S&P tickers. And right now, the first thing we will need is a URL. So we'll do URL equals to requests.get. And here we're going to copy and paste the URL. So in Google, we're going to search for a list of S&P 500 companies, and we're going to take the Wikipedia results. And here we're going to open the source. So we need this table. So we will extract this table using Beautiful Soup and Pickle, and we're going to save it into a data frame. We're going to open the source, and here we're going to search for table and table class. And here's our table. And a table consists of a body and TR, which is table rows, and TD, which is table data cells. So we need the second table row, and we need the first data cell, which is the symbol, the ticker. We will need the sector, so industrials. We will need the sub-industry. We will need the IPO date, and we need, no, that's about all we need. We won't save the address, and here we have the date that the company is founded, and here we have a code. This we don't need. The IPO date is interesting because then we know when the company went public. So the 3M was founded in 1902 and it went public in 1957. So we're going to return to the code editor. First, I will save this URL. So I will copy this URL and I'll paste it inside here. And now we're going to define our scraper. So soup bs.beautiful soup, and it's a URL in text, and we have to define XLXML to say that it's HTML. We need the table, so table equals to soup.find, and here we need to define the class. So we'll say table, comma, and we'll open the curly brackets, and we'll say class and double dots, and here we need to copy and paste the class. So we will return to our page, to the source, and the class is wikitable sortable. So this we will copy and paste inside here to let Beautiful Soup know that we want to extract information from this table with this class. We will need the tickers, and now we'll create empty arrays, but later we will append them. We need the names of the company. We need the industries. We need the sub-industries. And we need the IPO dates. And now we'll create a for loop. So for row in table.find all, because we want all information from this table. We will specify the table row, and the table row is the first one. And it's actually the second one, but it starts counting from 0. And we saw in our source code that we have the first table row here, class is sticky. It's the columns actually, so it's the titles. So we don't need that. We need the second row where the information starts. So that's why we're starting with 1, because 0 is the columns names. So we need ticker equals to row dot find all, and tickers is in TD, which is table data cell, and this is the first value, so 0 dot text. I will copy and paste this because we will need this a couple of times. The next thing is the name equals to row, and the name is the second value, so 1. Next one we need is industry. Industry equals row find all, and industry is a third value, and it's 2. And we can find the values here. Here we have the symbol, which is the first one. Here we have the name, which is the second one. And here we have the industry, which is the third one. The sub-industry is the fourth one. And the IPO date is the 6th one. And that's the only information we need. So we need sub-industry. And it's going to be row find all. And this is going to be the 4th, so the 3rd to start from 0. And the IPO date is the 6th one, and this is going to be 5. Okay, now we specified the information that we want to extract. Now we need to append it to our empty arrays here. So we'll say tickers append ticker. We'll say names append name. We'll say industries append industry. We'll say sub-industries append sub-industry. And we'll say IPO dates append IPO dates. Now all the information that we've extracted will be pure HTML, so we need something to extract to change this HTML into a nice clean code, so into nice clean text. So we'll say with open, and we'll create the file, so SP500 tickers.pickle. This will create a pickle file. We'll say VB, which means write binary, so it's going to write the file as F, and we say pickle.dump tickers, and we'll pass in a variable F. We'll say pickle dump names F, and we'll say pickle dump industries, and pass in the variable F, pickle dump sub industries, and F, and finally pickle dump IPO dates and F. And now we're just going to return our values. So return tickers, names, industries, sub-industries, and IPO dates. And if we're going to run this, it's going to create a new file here. It's going to create a pickle file. And from that, we will transform our data into a data frame. I will create a new cell, and I will define a new variable, list equals to, and I'm going to specify the function find SP tickers, find SP tickers. And if I'm going to run this, we'll check if I run that, okay. If I'm going to run this, and I will run that, and now it's going to extract all the information. It created an SP500 pickle file, and I'm going to create a new cell, and now we're going to define our data frame. So df equals to pd data frame. We'll pass in the variable list. We'll have to transform the list. So df equals to df.transform, because if we are not going to transform it, I will show it. So I will say, look, so it's not nicely, we cannot read this information, so we need to transform it. So df equals to df.transform, and now I'm going to run this, and we'll see it's going to look totally different. So now we need to specify yet our columns, and we need to remove this n here everywhere. So I will say df.columns equals to ticker, name, industry, sub-industry, and IPO date. I will say date added to, no, it's not really added to. The IPO date is different than dates that added to S&P 500, so we'll just call it IPO date. Okay, so we specified our columns, and now we need to also remove this this /n. So we'll say df ticker, because it's only in the tickers column, so this one will be ticker, so it's only here that we have this n. Df ticker equals to df ticker, and we'll say string replace, string dot replace, and here we're going to specify this /n, and we'll do comma, and we'll replace it by just the parentheses with no space inside, and now it's going to change this n to nothing, and I'm going to print the df, and now we're going to check. And this is our data frame. So we have the ticker, we have the name, we have the industry, we have the sub-industry, and we have the IPO date of the company. If we want to have the date that the company is founded, we can change this, but we have to look in the source code again. And this is the last one. We'll have to specify this inside our code. And here we have IPO date is 5, so the date founded will be 7. So 7, and I will create a new empty array. I'll say date founded, and here I will call this date found, and I will append it. Date founded, append, date found. Here I will run the pickle dump for it also. So I will say date founded, and I will return this also. I will rerun it, and I will rerun my list, and here I'll create a new column, date founded. And now we have our date founded, and we have another /n, so we need to copy and paste this and change the column name to date founded, and we'll do string replace, and it's gone. Oh, I made a mistake here, so I will say date founded. And now we have our date. So now we have the date that the company is founded, the date that the company went IPO, so went public, and we have the sub-industry, the industry, the name, and the ticker. And we have 503 rows, so we have all 503 companies of the S&P 500.